Welcome to the Big Movement Podcast. If you're ready to create results and make huge strides in your business, finances, personal development, and health, then you're in the right place. Pushing past excuses and powering through procrastination can be a challenge alone. Here, you'll get the support, tools, and knowledge you need to get to the level you desire in your business and life. Let's get started with your host, Byron Ingram.
And welcome to another episode of the Big Movement Podcast. Today we have Michelle Pescosolido, who is an expert Facebook marketer helping entrepreneurs, especially in direct sales and network marketing, understand how to leverage and utilize social media platforms such as Facebook to grow a profitable business online that can span the world without resorting to tactics such as annoying all of your family and friends and landing you in the NFL club, which stands for No Friends Left. So let's give a warm welcome to Michelle. So Michelle, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, sure, definitely. So how did you get into the world of Facebook marketing? Because you think about when people are into the world of direct sales, they're making the list of people, they're calling everyone they know, and they're just doing all the tactics that they're really outdated.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I actually did those things also. And what happened was for me is I just actually became really frustrated with that. I found that it was a grind all the time. I found that I was really like just pounding the pavement, making a list of the friends, the family members, the doctors, the lawyers, the insurance agent, the swim moms that, whose kids swam with our kids. I just found that was really a grind and was very frustrating. So I thought to myself, there has to be a better way. And my thought was, how do I reach more people? And, I thought, well, the internet makes sense. That's how I can reach more people beyond my circle, my network, and what I know. And so I basically, I was already on Facebook wasting hours anyways, just playing personally on Facebook. It was definitely a waste of my time. I would say it was fun, but I wasn't very productive by doing that.
Right.
And, I kind of started noticing, back in 2010, there were like little Facebook ads on the right-hand side of when I would log into Facebook on my newsfeed. And I found that very interesting. And I started just researching, what that was. And in my mind, I thought, okay, this might be a great way for me to start advertising, my business. And maybe I'll start getting, some results and some signups and, some new distributors and some customers. And I basically dove into researching Facebook ads. And that's really where my journey got started. And, with that, I realized that I had to have a Facebook fan page. And, I'm the type of person that I do a lot of research and I really like to see what is working. And so I would go to other people's fan pages at that time and see what they were doing on their fan page and how they were building these brands. And, I just basically took note of what was working with people. And then modeled it, and then started experimenting myself to determine what works and what doesn't work. And it wasn't successful right out of the gate, but it by working continuously and improving upon maybe some of the mistakes I did make, some of the things that were working, do more of that. Within about 6 months, was starting to see a lot of success by using Facebook advertising.
Oh, excellent. And that's so powerful that you just mentioned that you didn't have that success right out the gate, because so many people, they automatically assume if I just follow what all these people say, then I'm going to have instant success with the first ad I put out there. And, as you know from experience, it's not always the case.
Right. Exactly. And also, you have to... you have to be persistent and you have to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And I think for me, that's really what I was very persistent at, is I had to, really refine things, tweak it. If I found something that worked, try to even figure out how to improve upon it more.
Right, exactly. You have to always stay in that state of constant improvement because things change. The algorithm changes. The way people want to consume information changes. So if you're still using an old blueprint, it doesn't help you going forward.
Right, exactly.
And that in itself is powerful. So when you started really realizing the power of it, what was it that made you go all in with just leveraging Facebook advertising as opposed to some of the other ad platforms?
So, I think you kind of cut out there, but you were asking why did I basically choose Facebook, or why did I stick to leveraging that? For me, like I said, I mean, I saw the potential there. I saw the fact that there were millions of people. Now there's over 1 billion, but back then, millions of people on Facebook all over the world that I could actually reach. I didn't have to know them. I didn't have to, have any sort of relationship with them. I just had to, I looked at it as there are so many people on Facebook that I could actually get to know, and maybe start building relationships with, to where they do, to where I have that opportunity to get to know them, just like anybody you would meet on the street, basically.
Right.
When you meet somebody on the street, or maybe you're at a restaurant and you're sitting next to someone, and you start talking to them at the bar or whatever. It's the same thing. It's just like that initial step into getting to know someone. And in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, there's all these people on there, and this is a great opportunity. So I might as well, figure out how to reach all of these people, and study what works and what doesn't work, and put a strategy in place to where I can start reaching these people. And really it was through Facebook advertising, just building that brand and providing value. And yeah, there were other platforms out there. There was YouTube I could have been doing. There's Twitter. I don't think Pinterest was out there. Instagram may have been, but wasn't that popular. I know Snapchat wasn't out there. So those are some of the popular ones. And for me, I knew that in order to really be successful with Facebook, I had to actually immerse myself into it 100%. Because if I tried to do anything else, like maybe dabble in a little YouTube or dabble in a little bit of, Google AdWords or something, I was going to spread myself too thin. And I did try that. Don't get me wrong. I did try to do some of those things, and I found that I was spreading myself too thin, and I wasn't getting the maximum results that I was capable of being able to get, because I really had to focus all of my marketing and all of my the strategies that I was doing into building a brand and building that business online using Facebook.
Right. And that is so powerful. You mentioned that, if focusing in on a single platform, because you'll look at how many people have shiny object syndrome, where here's the latest, greatest strategy out there, and they end up not achieving the success they're looking for, because they're not committed for the long term. They're expecting the short term wins, and they're not experiencing it.
Right. Exactly.
And the only way past it is just doing what you did, just going all in and keep going until you start seeing that success.
You do. And here's the deal, is like a lot of people, if you see somebody out there having success with Facebook, and like maybe you're just skeptical, maybe you're brand new and you're skeptical, but if you see people having success with it, it's a proven marketing strategy. It goes with any other marketing strategy you may choose, or another social media platform out there. It's just a matter of working your own skill sets and improving upon them and becoming a student. And then also not just a student, but actually someone who's a doer, someone who's going to implement this stuff, practice it, and get results with it. So it's not like you're trying something out for the very first time that nobody's ever had success with. And that's really what I think for me was key, is I knew that there were advertisers out there at that time that were having success. They were reaching me. I was seeing their ads, and to me that was beautiful. I thought to myself, wow, I can just place an ad and reach all of these people on Facebook, depending on who I decided to target. And so, yeah, you're absolutely right. It really is a matter of, focusing on, that one strategy. And if it's a proven strategy because you see people having success with it, it's now just a matter of you to get from that point A to point B.
Right, exactly. So with someone running Facebook ads for their business, and it doesn't really matter the type of it, what are some of those key components that is necessary for them to achieve success? Because some people just think, well, I can just send them to any page on my website and that's going to work, right? And you kind of give them that crazy raised eyebrow look, like, not quite.
Right, because, Facebook, it does, you mentioned early on, it's always constantly changing. And, unfortunately, marketers tend to ruin everything, especially the ones
right.
that, they find, oh my God, people were making money on, like back in the day, people were making all this money on Google, Google AdWords, and then the big slap came down and Google was shutting people's accounts down. Same thing with Facebook. They when a flood of marketers come in because people are having success on it, what happens is Facebook then gets very smart about it, and they start, shutting down people's accounts that are doing things the wrong way. So they have to set out rules. They have to set out guidelines, because if they don't, it becomes the wild, wild west. And then it's all about the user experience, not having a good experience on Facebook. And if users aren't using Facebook because of bad experiences, I'm not talking marketers, I'm just talking you just as a user of Facebook. And if you're having a bad experience, then Facebook's going to go away. And so Facebook focuses on the user experience. So as marketers, we have to always look, as we're marketing, as we're advertising, to improve upon that user's experience. And the way that we do that is obviously by following, the guidelines that Facebook says you can and you can't do, what you can advertise and what you can't. And there's a lot of different guidelines that you have to follow. You can't just send people, to a opportunity website that says, hey, how about, making an extra $3,000 a month, check out this video and opportunity. They don't want this platform to turn into just like this huge commercial. You've got to provide some sort of value first. And then once you provide that value and you build that relationship with people, then you can start presenting your opportunity. So when you're sending people to a website, it's really nowadays, it's really very much about improving that user experience. So if you're going to send that user to your website, you've got to be providing value there.
Right, exactly. So obviously, since you mentioned that, someone can't send someone to their opportunity page, and I'm sure there's people out there going, oh no, now what do I do? So you just kind of visualize like that sad Disney face, like Droopy,
yes.
One of the seven dwarves, like, Ugh. But what does someone do then if they can't use a page all about their opportunity? What's the best thing for them?
Oh, well, there's a lot of options for sure. You could do, so Facebook, you can obviously do Facebook Lives. So if you're, let's just say, if you're going to do Facebook advertising, you have to have a Facebook fan page. And so that's basically where we build our brand. So I could do a Facebook Live, and, maybe today I choose to talk about, how to overcome objections, in your business. And you can do a video, you can do a Facebook Live, and here you are providing value. And then at the end, you obviously are going to have a call to action. And that call to action could be, look, if you're in a situation, maybe you're working a 9-to-5 job, or you're looking for a way to make some additional income, I want to invite you to take a look at this opportunity, click on the link below. So you can have some sort of call to action at the end, but at least you're providing value. And then you can drive traffic using Facebook advertising to those videos, just right there on your fan page, or to a Facebook Live. Another option is for people who love to write. You can have a blog. And oftentimes when we were in network marketing, we would write about, I was in a health and wellness network marketing business. So I would write about the health benefits of, maybe eating, grapefruit, grapefruit a day. I don't know if that's really a good health benefit, but let's just use that as an example. And then at the end, we could always have a call to action that invites people to learn more about our products and our opportunity to kind of, create this shortcut to losing weight. If we're going to target people who want to lose weight, maybe I'm going to give some tips on how to lose weight, but my product in my network marketing company could possibly be a little bit of a shortcut, and I invite people to check it out. Or even to a strategy session or a call, to book a call with me to where we can get on the phone with them. Because some people love to do that also. They like to get on the phone, they like to learn more about someone's situation, why they're looking for some additional income. And, by doing that, it helps, myself, anybody else that's on the phone with, with the person who's booked a call, it helps us understand better and hopefully be able to put them in a position to possibly join our network marketing company or any of our products that we're selling.
Right, exactly. And that's important, is providing that value up front, where I think people miss out on it. They get into that hype, well, let's just say the hype, but also that euphoria state. They're so excited about their new business, they assume that everybody is going to love it.
That is true. But that's true. That's kind of when I got into it, I was baffled. I was so blown away by, I was actually in school, and they had given me this energy pill. And I took it, and I had so much energy. I was so focused, had mental clarity. And I thought, why wouldn't everybody love this? I mean,
right.
But that's kind of what gets us started, right? We're very passionate about our product, and we get really, really excited. And oftentimes that'll be enough to sell it, but it only goes so far. You eventually run out of people that see what you see. And then,
Right.
yeah. So, I mean, that's how, I got started, is because, it was just a product that worked for me and I was excited about it, and I couldn't understand why nobody else didn't want to actually get excited like I did. It's just because there are a lot of people out there that are skeptical.
Right, exactly. And it just makes sense if you start looking at ways to expand your message in front of people that are interested, as opposed to just hitting up all your family and friends who are like, okay, Christmas is going to be a little awkward this year.
Uh-huh.
But you just don't want to go through that.
Right. And it's really important to what we tell a lot of our clients that are in network marketing. One of the things that we tell them is build your brand. Become the go-to person within your marketing niche. So if you're selling health and wellness products, then you obviously are going to need to be that brand that people recognize as someone who's healthy, that lives, this healthy lifestyle, that maybe, loves to cook healthy meals, and you're going to share those recipes. Or maybe you're all about making healthy shakes and you're going to share those recipes. But your life has to be, about living that lifestyle. You've got to also be a product user. It can't just be you're just selling the products. Be a product user. Be an example of the results that you get from your products, and share that, because that'll inspire and motivate people, and that's how you build your brand. I mean, you look at some of these big, huge, successful brands online now. Why do you follow them? And then imagine, what if they added a network marketing company into there, or they sell a particular product that they've come up with themselves? You'd probably buy it because you know their brand now, and you've gotten to know, like, and trust them. And it's the same thing that you have to also do as a network marketer or somebody in direct sales, is build your brand.
Right. So now, what do you mean by building your brand? Because some people are thinking like, well, I'm not Walmart. So What does it mean for that individual?
Well, it's interesting. I see a lot of, like, let's just use real estate, people as an example, real estate agents. Our real estate agent who worked with us was just somebody that basically got business because of referrals. Well, I'm starting to see her now. She has a Facebook fan page, and now she's kind of becoming that go-to realtor within our area, because she's providing all of this value. About not just about, hey, I'm a real estate agent. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, contact me. No, she's gone beyond that. She's actually become somebody who's educating people on the seller's market, or on, educating people on buying their first home, or maybe even, when they're looking to buy a home. She's starting to educate those people. So she's built this brand and has become this kind of go-to person who has a wealth of information when it comes to buying and selling your home. Same thing for network marketers. It's who can we use as an example? Like Jillian Michaels. I know that's a really big one, but anybody can build a brand like that. She didn't start out having her own TV show. She didn't start out having all of her, products that she has. She started out as someone just like you and I, or somebody who's brand new. It starts, I think what happens is people look at the end result and they want that, but they don't focus on what it took to actually get there, and that's what you have to do. You have to take those steps, and eventually you're going to have that end result, but you've got to be willing to take all those initial steps in the beginning and become that go-to person that has all this wealth of information. And people look to you for that, and they come to your page every day, or they go to your blog every day, or they come to your podcast because they know the kind of value you're going to deliver and the kind of information you're going to give them that's going to help them.
Right, exactly. That is so important. It's showing up consistently and delivering that value that makes all the difference in the world.
Right. Like, think about computers. I mean, like, if you're an Apple user, like if you thought right now, oh, I need to buy a new computer, where are you going to go? Are you going to go to a brand you've never heard of? Or are you going to actually go to a brand that you know and have followed?
Right, exactly. Since I'm an Apple guy, I already know what the next one's going to be.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of the same thing. Your shoes, are there certain shoes that you always go to and buy?
Right.
It's because they built that brand. It's the same thing.
Right, exactly. Now, when it comes to building a brand for individuals and look at educating, what's the best way for someone to start getting their message out there? Because they look at it, great, I created my a fan page and I have 0 followers. And then people think, well, I'm just going to use my personal profile because there's people who see it there versus no one over here.
Right. And the best way to do that is to use Facebook advertising, create a Facebook likes ad, which is basically just an ad encouraging the people that you're going to target, meaning, I'm going to put this ad in front of all the people that like, let's say, Tony Robbins. So all the people that show an interest in Tony Robbins on Facebook or, have shown that interest, they're going to see your ad. And within that ad, you've got to provide some sort of statement of what your fan page is about, what it is that you're offering on your page. What does your brand represent? What does your brand offer? How are you inspiring? How are you motivating people day in and day out? So you're encouraging them to come like your fan page. That's the initial step, and that's how you really start building fans. On your fan page. And then from there, that's the next step, is just to basically start providing value and engaging your audience that have chosen to like your page.
Right. And that's so critical when you look at it. It's people look at gimmicks and stuff instead of going back to the tried and true method, which is how can you simply provide value from day one through the whole process?
Right. And that's true, because think about it. Like oftentimes I'll see a fan page, like they've hooked me, and then they don't finish out the project or finish it out. Like they've hooked me. So let's just say I see an ad about a farm sanctuary, because you know how much I love animals, right?
Right.
And so they've hooked me. They've targeted me, and they targeted me correctly because they know I'm an animal lover. They know that I volunteer. And so I see that there's this farm sanctuary, brand new fan page, and I click like. Well, the mistake a lot of people make is they get me to like that page, but then from there, I don't ever see them again. And that's kind of where that next step comes in, where you're building your brand. You've got to now engage those people that raised their hand and said, yes, I want to like your page. So if I'm going to click like, I want to start seeing status updates from that fan page, that farm sanctuary, educating me on, or maybe sharing like just the lifestyle of what they're doing on that farm. How they're saving the animals, or the process that they go through, or how they take care of the animals, anything like that, keep me engaged. And that's really that next step that you have to take when you're building that brand.
Right. So in that case, with people wanting to build up that engagement, because as you know, the organic reach from a page is dismal, and that's being polite about it.
Yeah.
Like I can think of many other words to describe it. Most of them would immediately take this episode from being clean to far from it.
Yeah. Yes.
But what's the best way for people to start getting that engagement so then people are coming back to their page on a regular basis?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. It's pretty much, new marketers that come in. Even us older marketers on there, when you post something on your fan page, your fans are not seeing it. You can measure that by looking on your fan page, and you can look how far your posts have reached. And we've got 140,000 fans right now, and there are some posts that only reach a couple of thousand people. That's horrible. So you're right. So the question is, how can you get people to see your posts? And the simplest thing you can do is just, when you create a status update, maybe you're doing a video, you're doing a Facebook Live, you've posted an image, maybe you've just written a status update, or you're sharing your blog post or a podcast or an article, you click the boost post button. There's a button right below after you create that status update. You boost that and you target your fans, the people who have already liked your page. Now, advanced strategies, you can go beyond that and target other people, but the very basic thing, the very basic thing you should be doing is boosting a post. And what we like to do is we will boost a post and run it for about 3 days, and then we'll pick up another one after those 3 days are over, and we'll boost another one, and that keeps that engagement going. And then, there are some fan pages that we have that we don't ever have to boost posts. Depending on your marketing niche. And that, again, is going to just require you to just know your numbers, and just by look at how much engagement am I getting on my page with or without paid advertising. But we have one fan page we don't have to do any boosted post on. But the reason why those posts on that fan page gets more exposure is because the people are already engaged. So by doing the advertising, by boosting your posts, what you're showing Facebook is look, I can get engagement on this page. Look, by me paying you $20 to go show this post out to, all of my fans for, a day or 2, 3 days, you can see people are now liking, commenting, or sharing. And once they start to see that, they'll start showing your stuff more organically. So the way that your stuff's going to get shown more organically is just how engaged are the people on your page. Because the news feed is so competitive. And so Facebook has to give, priority to those people who are posting content out there that's already getting a lot of engagement. So the way for us around it is to use paid advertising.
Right. And that's just the world that we live in. It's a pay to play at this game.
Yes.
To the game. If you're not willing to do that, it's going to be a long road in order to grow. And then that comes back to the whole concept of duplication, that not everybody is going to want to post in groups 8 hours a day. That's not scalable.
Right. It's not. Yeah, absolutely.
Versus.
And everybody else is doing that. I mean,
right.
If that's your strategy, I mean, you think about it, that's what everybody else is doing, you know, and most likely, it depends on what type of group you're in. But unless you manage your own group, like maybe you've created your own group, which we do have groups like that too, which nobody else is allowed to pitch in there but ourselves.
Right. That's a great way to do it. Like if you're going to build a group, make sure that you're the one who can pitch.
Yes, exactly.
Otherwise, what's the point? Then it becomes one of those groups that there's no one really looking at the content because people are just pitching their stuff. They're not listening.
Yeah, it's right. It's very one-sided. I mean, the purpose of the group is just to pitch your opportunity, and that's what everybody's using it for. Not many people are going in there to look for an opportunity.
Right, exactly. It's just a location for people to hang out in, and that's not fun because I would go in those groups and I looked, it's like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. There's zero engagement on any of the posts. It's all just buy my stuff, join my opportunity. You're going to love this. And that's not helpful.
Exactly.
So obviously, with having that fan page for people to start running ads on, what is that people should be utilizing in terms of driving traffic to? Like some people think, do they need a big, robust website? Can they just have a landing page? What is it that people should be starting off with so they don't enter that state of overwhelm?
Yeah, I mean, you can start out, if we're talking network marketing, you can easily just start out with a simple message me if you want more information. I mean, you don't have to, I didn't have a blog, when we first started out. All I had was, a weekly sizzle line, that people could call and listen to if they wanted to learn more about our opportunity or our products, or a replicated website that, everybody gets when they join a network marketing business. That's all, I had in the very beginning. And so you can easily go in and just tell people, if you write a status update and maybe you're sharing a story, about, or a testimonial, about one of your, clients or one of your partners, we can call them, or distributors or customers that had, a lot of success with a particular product that you sell. You can share that story, and at the very end, you can say, message me if you want more information on this, or say yes in the comments section if you want me to give you more information. So there's ways, that you can build this and keep it very simple. You don't have to have a website, as far as like a blog, which can be daunting to a lot of people that are very new, to think about all these other things that they have to have. Just asking someone to message you or to, you can use like a strategy session for it. You can offer your phone number if you want, or an email address. There are a lot of things that you can do to get people to reach out to you.
Right, and especially in today's world, when you look at, you now have the messenger ads that you can utilize. So why not have people message you? Right.
Exactly, and messenger ads are fairly new, and that's something we've tested. But you can definitely set that up to where as soon as someone clicks on it, an automated message pops up for them, and you can say something just as simple as, hey, if you're, looking to, hey, I'm here to help you. I mean, this is, a little bit about what I do, how I help people. If there's something that you're interested in, let me know and we can connect. I can give you a phone call, or, we can set up a time to talk, or you can visit my website. I mean, there's all different kinds of ways that you can go about using those messenger ads.
Right, exactly. And it's just a matter of how you can be able to communicate with people more effectively. So
Right.
you can get away from the technical hurdles, because if you look at the complexities, like you mentioned, and setting up a website, for some people, it's overwhelming. They'll click I can barely operate the DVR. So
Yeah.
their learning curve is much higher than someone else's.
Yeah, I mean, and all you really need, and this, I mean, look, Byron, we built a 6-figure business when we were starting out with just a Facebook fan page. I mean, we had our opportunity. So, you spend the money to sign up for your network marketing company. You get all the tools, the website and, your products and everything. And we were able to do that with our network marketing business and a Facebook fan page. We were able to build that into that 6-figure business at that time. So you don't need, I'm here to tell you, you don't need all of that other stuff. You don't need, just because you see people have a blog and they have a YouTube channel and they have Twitter and they have Instagram, you don't need to have all that. Do you want it?
Right.
Yeah, eventually, but don't start out with that until you're ready.
Right. It's more important to put the energy towards getting yourself in front of people,
Right.
instead of trying to figure out all these systems. Because you think about how long it takes somebody, if they've never used anything from WordPress to ClickFunnels to lead pages to
Yep.
Aweber and so on, you could spend months trying to figure all this stuff out and never generate a single sale.
Exactly. And then people wonder why they're not having success. And it's not, it's not because, it is because they didn't actually do the money-making activities, because they've buried themselves in trying to build all of the stuff that they thought they needed.
Right, exactly. Because at the end of the day, it's always about, and it applies to any type of business, getting in front of qualified prospects.
Right.
Everything else just adds another layer in terms of automation, so it can start working for you 24/7. But in the beginning stages, just getting yourself out there. Skip all the technical stuff that just slows you down.
Yeah, do the things that can get you out in front of those people. Yes, exactly.
Right, because then if you generate the sales, then you can hire somebody to do the technical stuff, so you don't have to try to figure it out yourself.
Right, exactly.
Which is probably, for a lot of people, a more efficient way to do it, because then they can get it done in a timely fashion instead of staring at their computer for a week straight. I think I figured out this email thing, and then there's they have to go from there.
Right, exactly.
So obviously, we look at the notion of just leveraging Facebook, a page in itself, to get there. What is it in terms of best practices that people should be doing in terms of content? Because people hear different notions. Oh, you should just post on your page once a day, and then some people post 100 times a day, spam the crap out of them. What is really an ideal amount for people to start building that rapport and relationship with?
I would say you should post at the minimum. We post 3 to 5 times a day. Do we do it? I mean, do we use automation tools? Absolutely. There are some things, like when we just post inspirational images that, have quotes on them. We have those scheduled out and posted. But, when we're coming in and posting maybe a video or a blog post, I mean, obviously those aren't automated, but 3 to 5 times a day, every single day, is really a good, schedule to kind of go by and mix it up, I mean, but do some, things. I mean, people love to be inspired and motivated. I mean, they look to people who can provide, something positive in their life, and then, that'll make them smile. And that's so simple to do with just, nice images, asking questions, things that have quotes on them. That's really, really simple to do if you get to the point where you're kind of thinking, oh my gosh, what do I need to post today? And of course, videos are great. You don't have to make long videos. Just, provide, a tip or, a how-to or some sort of quick strategy on how to do something or how to overcome something, in a 2-3 minute video. That works really great. And one of the things that people should never forget to do also is share your lifestyle. I'm not saying go out and share fake stuff, you're on a yacht and you're claiming it's your yacht. I don't mean like that, but if you're a product of your product, share that. If you're using your product, share that through video or share that through stories, through status updates that you're making. If you're going to events, share what you learned from the event, or, share what, take lots of pictures. Like, it's all about just kind of sharing that lifestyle also that a lot of people I think forget to do, because that's where people grow to kind of get to know you, and they start going, oh, I kind of like this person, I like the stuff that they're sharing, and they're kind of bringing me into their life also. That's really important to do also.
Right, and I think that's the critical component there that you mentioned. It's letting people into who you are, because if you look at some people out there, everything about their brand, it's all about buy my stuff consistently, versus there's no relationship there.
Right.
Versus, you're going to go out there and you're going to share the things like helping all the animals out there.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know me because of that, right? I mean, that's part of
exactly.
And even though I don't sell things related to that, but you guys kind of know me because I take care of cats, and I'm a volunteer coordinator, and I'm saving animals, and I mean, it's part of that. Like you say, you're letting people in, and you're letting them get to know you, and that's it's just like in real life. Not that that's not real life, but like if you were in a bar and you're meeting someone, if they were very robotic and all about buy my stuff, you wouldn't be interested.
No, definitely not.
You're going to buy from people you know and that you trust and that you've grown to like.
Right, exactly. Now, of course, some people, I think they might have this fear of, well, how much should I put out there? If I let people into my world, they might see me for who I am, and they get scared. Is that something that they should be worried about, or just...
No, you know what? You have to, first of all, you have to have a thick skin. I probably should have said that early on. As you grow, your brand, you have to have a thick skin, and you have to be willing to take a lot of no's. Yes, there will be some people that just absolutely hate you. That's the fact. That's just reality. It's okay. That means you're getting somewhere. But the fact is, people are going to resonate with you. And there are going to be people who don't. So like with my husband and I, there are some people that resonate with Bill that don't resonate with me. There's people that resonate with me that don't necessarily resonate with him. There's people who resonate with the both of us because maybe they're sitting there building their business with their husband or their wife, so they resonate with the both of us. You can't worry about those things. If you think about how many people are on Facebook, over 1 billion people on Facebook, you don't have to capture all of those people. You only need a very small fraction of those people to be successful. And, you're sharing your stories, sharing your lifestyle, whether you think it's valuable or not. You would be surprised how many people will resonate with you. I tell you, I shared a story when I was speaking on stage a couple of years ago that everybody kept saying, share your story, share your story. And I was always just like, nobody wants to really hear my story, my background, what I've gone through. As soon as I shared that, I had so many women, even some men, come up to me and tell me they went through the same similar experiences I did, and they thanked me for that. So never doubt yourself for 1 second that you can't impact someone, that you can't change somebody's mind or change the way they look at things or help them in a way because you think that you're not inspirational enough or you don't have a good story. Because I used to think that same thing too. But if you share it, like I said, the right people, and plus it will attract the right people you want to work with to you.
Right, exactly. So how do people deal with haters? Because that's the one thing that's pretty common out there. That as you grow, you're going to have some people that have nothing better to do in life than be negative.
Right.
And they just pick you as a target for the day.
Yeah, I mean, I just banned someone off of my personal page today. I don't know where she even came from. You can't even add her as a friend. Like, I went to her profile. It says follow. There's not even an add a friend button. There's not a message button. And she was, I think it was a she was bashing people who were commenting, not me, but totally bashing, dropping, the F-bombs and everything in that, the people that were commenting on me seeing Mel Gibson in Boston. And I saw that earlier and I was like, what is she doing? And one thing that I've learned is trying to fight it is the worst thing you can do. And
right.
And I get it, man. There are times where I want to defend myself because somebody is so way off on telling me that I'm a certain way or whatever. Like, you don't even know me. And I want to respond. And I have before. And I can tell you 10 out of 10 times, responding has never made it better. It's best to just just delete it. And that's what I did with this one. And I blocked the person and then move on and focus on changing the lives of the people who are going to listen to you. You can't worry about those things. And I'm telling you from experience. And then as you get, get to the point where you have the resources to build a wall between you, and the people who are doing that, like we have an assistant who reads all of our support tickets, because if I'm reading those, it becomes personal sometimes.
Right.
So we have an assistant that does that and takes care of that. So that's kind of the way you can distance yourself from that.
Right. And that's so true. You have to remove the personal component to it, that there can be a variety of reasons why that person's angry, but you have to look at it as you're protecting a community that you're building, and by responding, that's only fueling the flames even further. So instead of it being that one person you just kind of squish like out of existence there into your world, now they're able to fester, and then more people see it, and it just gets ugly from there.
Exactly.
And so you just have to focus on those things. So when we put all this stuff together, it sounds like obviously Facebook is the way to go, but obviously, I use obviously a lot. It's like I'm just kind of obvious about things. It's one of those key factors is for people to do things the right way. What's really a great way for people to, besides obviously jumping in? I need to have a little little clock or something, or like I can just hit it every time I say the word obviously.
That's
but
okay.
when you look at it, what would be a great way for people to start learning how to advertise on Facebook instead of making mistake after mistake? Because you can easily spend a ton of money on Facebook ads and not see any results.
Absolutely. And the very best thing to do is to have a mentor, that has done it and has been successful, that hopefully offers, training or, mentorship or one-on-one coaching. I mean, if you want to get it done the fastest way, that's the quickest way that I would recommend.
Right.
Now, I realize that requires like money and resources. The other option is, the other option is like I said, when, you mentioned, besides jumping into it, I mean, really, that kind of is the best way. But if you're starting to see mistakes and you're not making money, then definitely you need to reach out to someone.
Right. Now, how can people be able to determine who's a great person to learn from versus some of the hacks out there?
Well, I think, doing your research and, taking a look at who's having success. Let me have a sip of my water here. Hang on.
Oh, sure.
Sorry about that. My throat's getting dry here. Just make sure that, obviously that don't just buy a course unless you actually, there's a couple of courses I'm looking at right now, and they're pretty pricey, but I'm not going to just buy it unless I know, does this person actually practice what they're teaching? Are they getting results? Right. Are they still in the game? I'll watch videos of what they're doing. I'll get recommendations. Have you heard of this person? Things like that. I think that's really helpful to do your research. And then also, are they somebody that you resonate with? I think that's really important too. Look at their training, and what they're doing, or look at some of their videos, or go to their blog posts and things like that, and see if it's someone that you actually resonate with, because people have different styles of teaching. Oftentimes also when you buy a course, make sure there's a money back guarantee. I don't recommend you getting a refund, but I mean, if it turns out that you're just really not sure of the person, and you just, you can buy and then, it's a risk that you're going to take, but then you can at least take a look and see if it's something that you're going to be able to learn from, and you resonate with the person and their style of teaching. Don't just get a refund because it didn't work. I always hate that, where, it didn't work for me, so I'm going to get a refund. It's not that. I mean, just at least that if you're going to dive into buying a course or, hiring coaching or mentorship or something, there's some sort of, money back guarantee or something like that.
Right. And you mentioned something there, I think it's pretty valuable in terms of learning it. There's a lot of people out there, they might have figured out a pattern that works within Facebook advertising. So they're only teaching people how to use the platform, but they're not actually doing anything with it. And I think that's a little on the gray side of things.
Right. And look, you can go into Facebook right now and you can go into the ad manager and you can get the basics. You don't have to spend money to get your basics. You can go in there and learn how to set up an ad. You can know what type of ad, but the real the real strategy and the real results come from knowing how to manipulate those ads, how to, read your numbers, how to know, what the results mean to you, how to know what bidding process you're choosing, how to know to write the good copy, how to, know what kind of image you need to upload, how to know who you should target. Like, what are the strategies that you use to target people? What are your bidding strategies? That's where the results are going to come from, is actually going deeper into, not the how-tos. It's funny because, I've been doing Facebook since 2010, or 9 or 10, something like that. It is right around there. And I look at other Facebook marketers out there. I mean, we have a lot of courses. I look at other courses. And one thing that I've noticed, and I get a lot of feedback from our, clients and our customers, is we are very detailed. We're very much into the how to do things. We don't teach theories. I mean, again, if you want the theories behind why you should run ads, you can just go to Facebook Ad Manager and learn that. But you need to look for somebody that's teaching in-depth how-tos of every aspect of a Facebook ad, because targeting is big. That's probably one of the biggest reasons why most people fail, is the targeting, and then I would say second is the bidding option they're choosing.
Right, and that's so important that people understand that, because if people choose the wrong one, it's so easy to blow through your budget and not do anything right, and then also just targeting it. As you mentioned there, I look at, people say, can you take a look at my ad? And I look at it, and the first thing I go to is I look at their targeting. Yes. Because if that is not right, it doesn't matter how amazing the ad copy is or the image, it doesn't matter at that point. Right,
exactly. That's exactly right, and that's that's like considered you're just 1 degree off, and the people just don't know it. It's just the targeting. Usually, people are going too broad, Right. And they're targeting an audience where maybe only 20% of that audience is really going to be interested in your offer, and the other 80% are people you're going to have to convince, and that's not what you're looking for in targeting. You're looking for people that are already convinced and probably interested in your product, and now it's just about you. Solidifying that relationship and giving value and hopefully going to, gain a new customer.
Right, exactly. You want to have that philosophy that you're putting yourself in front of the right people, that it almost becomes a no-brainer for them to take a look at what you have.
Right, exactly.
Or I like to visualize, someone just finished running a race through the desert, and you're that lucky person who happens to have a water stand right there where they're coming out of the desert. You can sell it for whatever you want because they're going to buy it.
Exactly.
It's because when you have that mentality, then you know that, well, if you're going to sell something, put it in front of the people who are most likely going to need it at that point in time, instead of, oh, well, that's so nice to have, but they might not want to do it. So you have to build more of a rapport and relationship, versus they're starving. If you're hungry, put some food in front of somebody. They'll eat it.
Yes. Exactly.
Right, and that makes all the difference in the world. So as we begin to wrap everything up, what is one thing you recommend people do when it comes to Facebook advertising so they can achieve success?
One thing, oh boy.
I know, tough.
I really have to go back to, being yourself, having... letting your personality come through, having fun with it, having your brand. There's so much, Byron. I can't believe you're making me do one. Because then I could also say, really educate yourself on the do's and don'ts of Facebook. Go look at the ad policy, go look at the ad guidelines, educate yourself on that. But, that's all technical. I mean, I just really think brand building is just really the most important thing. And that's what sets people apart from the people that aren't having success, is because they've taken time to build their brand. They've actually taken time to build relationships. They're not leading with their wallet. So let me say that again. They're not leading with their wallet. They're actually leading with value first. And while that may seem like it's more time consuming, and, people are, thinking, God, I'm not having success fast enough. In the long run, you're going to be standing like we are here 7 years later. We're still standing. We're still in the Facebook marketing game. While we've seen tons of people come and go, it's because we've built a solid brand. We have shifted our business model a few times. And it didn't matter because we built the brand, and people were happy and excited. Some came with us, some, still stayed connected with us but didn't join us. Is because we built the brand. We built a following of people who knew who we are, that we constantly engaged with, and we constantly come from a place of providing value. We genuinely want to help you because we've had a tremendous success. We have been working from home, since 2010. We have not been employed, except we employ ourselves.
Right.
We have not been employed. Bill was in corporate America. He quit his corporate America job. We've been doing this for a very long time, and we know it works. So we come from a place of sharing that value with people and how they can do it also. So I think, now that I've convinced myself that that's the one main thing, I hope that works for you, because I really think that's what it is. Because that's what I feel, is if you, like I said, if you're going to make me do one thing, it's about building those relationships and using the platform that way.
Right. And that in itself is so priceless, because people go into business, they do business with someone they know, like, and trust.
Yeah. It's just, I say this all the time, and you may have heard me say this, if you're going to go buy a brand new car, and I know you like to buy cars, but because I think you've told me this before, but I don't like to buy cars, because it takes forever, but I do have a great guy now, and here's why, and this is going to be a perfect example, but let's just go back to you going into a dealership. You want to buy a Mercedes, let's say, and you walk in and you see 3 salespeople standing there in front of you. It's awkward, it's right, you're like, they're
right.
going to jump on me, I'm pray, but then you see your friends standing there also. Who are you going to buy from?
Right.
You're going to buy from your friend, right? Because you
Exactly.
already know them, you like them, you trust them. It's not going to be that much of a headache for you to buy. And honestly, that's why my last experience buying a car was so painless, is because I went back to my same sales guy. I didn't go to anybody
Right.
else that was pitching the same thing he was pitching. The same thing. It's the same thing on Facebook. We're all pitching something. But the person who's going to buy from you is the person that you've actually connected with and have built that relationship with. If I see you promoting a product on Facebook that looks very intriguing to me and looks interesting, and I don't know who you are, I'm actually going to go find someone that I actually know. I'm going to do a simple Google search, and
Right.
hopefully I'm going to find one of my friends that actually does it, or maybe somebody else I resonate with once I start going down the rabbit hole of searching in Google. And then I'm going to forget who originally showed me that post about that product that I was interested in.
Right.
It's all about relationships. It really is.
Right, exactly. You have to focus in on it, because that's what's going to keep you in business, like you and Bill have been for over 7 years, versus the people that they came and went because they're in for the short win, and then they realize, oh, that was not a good idea, and people won't do business with them anymore.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So how can people learn more about what you're doing, about Facebook advertising from you, and so forth?
Absolutely. Well, we have a blog. It's onlinewealthpartner.com. You can also just Google search, my name or Bill Pescosolido, my husband. We both work together, and it'll take you to our blog, or, you can find our fan page. But the blog is the best place. We always have our latest products on there. We also have a ton of, free value as far as trainings and blog posts. And, oftentimes, anytime Facebook comes out with something new, I'm always writing a blog post on it. Bill's always writing. He does a lot of content marketing and, how to, build a business through content marketing. And so you'll always find, stuff on there, a lot of resources available and trainings available. And I invite people to actually do that first before even buying, from us, because that's, you can if you haven't gotten used to my style here, but, you can kind of get to know who we are and our style and the way that we teach, the way that we write, and the way that we work with people. So yeah, onlinewealthpartner.com.
Oh, excellent. Well, I want to thank you for coming onto the Big Movement podcast today and sharing your wealth of wisdom about how to grow a brand that people know, like, and trust on Facebook, especially with Facebook advertising.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This has been a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening to the Big Movement Podcast today. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Now that you've surely been inspired to take your entrepreneurial career and business to the next level, you can stop by the website and get more. And if you're ready to boost your business brand, be sure to grab your free report, 7 Easy Steps to Build Your Brand Today.